Are you feeling stressed, directionless, lost, confused, overwhelmed? Then you, my friend, are not alone. You are likely experiencing what I'm calling the mid year slump. So, if you are listening to this episode on the date of release, we are now in July. And welcome back to another episode of the Corporate Survivor podcast, the podcast built for 9 to 5 working professionals who wants to grow your career in the corporate world. So, if you are like many of the people I know out there who have pretty much wasted the first 6 months of this year, and now we are in July, you are starting to wonder to yourself, oh my God, what has happened in the past 6 months? What has happened in the past 180 days? And I don't feel like I'm progressing. I don't feel like I'm going anywhere. In fact, I feel worse than when I started in the new year because you all know that when we start on the 1st of January, especially in the month of January, everyone is actually really happy. But now that we're coming to July, it's kind of like the situation where reality sets in. And if you're one of those people who have been waiting around, procrastinating, and just like waiting for, magically for some sort of like stress and overwhelm at work to go away, you are probably feeling even more frustrated right now because if you look around on social media, you may see a lot of people, showcasing their success, right? Getting a promotion, getting an increment, getting words of appreciation, getting recognized by their companies, and that can feel extremely frustrating. So, you, my friend, are in the mid year slump, and in this episode, I want to invite you to consider a couple of questions and really assess sort of like where you are in your career right now. And more importantly, where do you want to go in the next 6 months? So, a couple of questions for you to think about. Question number one is: are you happy with your career right now? Are you happy with your career right now? If you say yes, then that's great. There's nothing else to do, right? Just enjoy, do whatever that you want to do, or rather do whatever that you have been doing, because if you're happy right now, then like, okay, right? But if your answer is no, I don't feel happy in my career right now, I don't feel satisfied, I don't feel fulfilled, I feel like I can do better, and I'm just not happy with whatever the situation that is happening around me right now, then I think that you are on the right spot at the moment, because a lot of things, I always believe that the first step to improvement is recognizing that you are not happy with where you are not satisfied with the current situation that you're in. So it is a good thing. It is a good thing. Now, the second question for you is: what are you willing to do to get closer to where you want to be? What are you willing to do to get closer to where you want to be? Now, where you want to be should have been something that you have decided or rather thought about at the beginning of the year, and hence called New Year goals, right? So, where is that place that you want to be? And now I just want to be clear that like that place that you want to be does not necessarily mean that it's a new job. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a new company or a new industry, but that place that you want to be can be that one skill that you want to improve. It can be that one relationship at work that you want to get better. It can be that one project that you want to excel in, or it can be that, one positive feedback that you're looking for from your boss or stakeholders, right? It can be that one thing. And you define what that one thing means for you, because that is going to be the motivating factor for you to go and do something about it, right? So that's where you want to be. And the like I said, the other part of the question then is like, what are you willing to do to get to where you want to be? Now, the reason why I make this comment is because I have been spending quite a lot of time on social media, particularly, as you all know, I'm very active on LinkedIn and recently on Instagram as well. And there is this one trend I noticed in a lot of people. And if you're honest with yourself, you might be one of them as well. Is this habit of like scrolling through posts, scrolling through stories, commenting, being a silent reader, just like observing in general, but not actually taking any action. So, you know, just so you know, the 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 time and the effort, or rather the energy that you are taking to scroll around social media, to vote on polls, to leave a comment, to share a post, to talk about it with your friends, these are still time spent that requires mental energy from you. It does take some emotional um, attachment, emotional energy as well. But the tricky part, and the part I guess I don't really understand, is like how the actions just stop there. Maybe if you're one of those people who think that like just because you're there like consuming a lot of like these posts, it naturally means that you are gaining knowledge to take action, then no, because you have not actually done anything about it yet. So that's why the second question, like I said, is two parts. Is, where do you want to go, and actually what you want, and of course, what are you willing to do about it? Because let's be honest, it's already July, first 6 months, and I also want to share maybe a couple of quick examples with you to inspire you to maybe set out your next 6 months as the best 6 months yet for you. Now, I'm going to talk about three very quick examples of students in my program, The Corporate Survivor. So, as you all know, The Corporate Survivor is my online program designed for 9 to 5 professionals who want to get confident, competent, and actually get recognized for the contributions that they bring at work, and obviously leading to higher salary and higher increment, fingers crossed. So, the three examples I'm going to share if you are students in my program are students who really made use of the first 6 months to get an internal increment, internal promotion, as well as taking on external opportunities. Now, these three examples, personally for me, are perfect for me to tell you and also illustrate to you that you just need to take action. You need to want it and do something about it. So, the first student I have in my program was someone who has been working actively on understanding her deliverables and how to better build a stronger relationship with both her boss as well as her network. Now, at the middle of the year, which is basically last month, she received very positive feedback from her boss and actually received a 10% increment in salary increase because of added responsibility. And how did she get those added responsibilities? Is because she worked the first 6 months to prove herself, to show that she is someone that can be trusted, she has the right skills, she has the right knowledge, and she is actively communicating and networking to be seen, to be visible, to be given those opportunities. Second example is my other student, also in the Corporate Survivor program, who managed to get a 30% increment due to an internal promotion. Now, very similar to the first student as well, for the second student, it was a fairly new position that she took on in this company, and she really put in a lot of effort going through every single module in the program to make sure that she truly understood what are her performance targets, what are her KPIs, and more importantly, she is also networking with the right people, right? Mindset, skill set, and networking strategy. So because she's put in a lot of effort in those things, and of course, if you follow my method and you actually do it right per the 3-step framework that I teach in my program, what happened was then somebody really senior in her head of department, somebody really senior in the team, reached out to her and said that, hey, there is an opening in another division. I think that you are the perfect fit. And since you have joined the company, we do see your value. We see that you have been putting in a lot of effort. You are getting great feedback from people around you, and you do have the skills as well, both in your resume and based on what we are seeing. And therefore, she was recommended to this role that is a managerial position. So she went for a very quick chat, a very quick interview, and pretty much got the internal promotion on the spot. And with the internal promotion, she received a 30% increment due to the job promotion internally. So, again, how did this happen? Effort, 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 and actually applying the 3-step strategy that I teach in the Corporate Survivor program. But effort, effort, effort. And the third example I wanted to share with you was also a student in the program who has been with this company for about 3 or 4 years now, but she is getting stuck because there are really no mobility left, like no growth left in the company. So as she started exploring what to do, and because she had already applied my LinkedIn online branding strategy to attract opportunities, she actually started receiving calls from recruiters on team leader positions, managerial positions, which is something that she's looking for as well. Because if you set up your profile correctly, you should be attracting the right opportunities, because that's what I teach all my students, and that's what all my clients are getting in terms of like attracting the right opportunities. So she went through the entire process and eventually managed to land the role. It is a six-figure role, first time, six figures, 100K, and she's super duper duper excited, and she is going to start her new role in the next couple of weeks. So the reason why I shared these three student examples with you is I want to illustrate to you that, hey, without action, like nothing happens. And I think if there is this one big tip that I can share with you, and this is your biggest takeaway from today's episode, is I want you to decide. Yes, the great big tip is making a decision. I want you to decide today, right now, right this moment, that you are going to do something about the next 6 months. You are going to do something about your career. It's not good enough to look around and hope for something to happen. It's not good enough to look around and wait for later, because later never comes. And it's not good enough to look around at other people's success and feel jealous. Like, that is not a really productive use of time. So what I want you to do right now is to decide that you want a better career in the next 6 months. Decide you want to have better skills in the next 6 months. And with that decision made, I want you to then go and take action to make your desire happen. Take one action every day. After you have made the decision that you want a better career, you want growth, you want improvement, and you want to become better in the next 6 months. So, with that, I thank you for listening to today's episode. And if you are new here, make sure that you tune in every single week, where I will be talking about all things corporate world. And if you are a 9 to 5 working professional who is looking to learn how to get confident, get competent, really wanting to build your corporate mindset, skill set, as well as networking strategies to attract more opportunities, get recognized, then you are definitely at the right place. And if you have enjoyed the podcast so far, you have enjoyed this episode, drop a like, subscribe, and drop a rating, because this is really the way how podcast grows. And if you can think of one friend, just one friend who could really benefit from a lot of the career tips that I share on the Corporate Survivor podcast, feel free to share this episode with them or share the podcast with them as well. So with that, I will see you next week. And till then, make a decision and take action. Bye.